Thank you for staying with us. The 13th African Games started on the 8th of March and will be ending in the next 2 days. What has been the highs and lows for Nigeria? We have in the studio Solomon Ajuziogu, our in-house analyst, to discuss this with us. And we'll also have joining us via Zoom a Ghanaian journalist, Nuhu Adams, and Kuti from ACL Sports. Gentlemen, good morning. Solomon, good morning. Thank you
for having me.
Very much. Let me begin with you, Nuhu Adams. What has been, like we asked, the highs and lows in these games from your perspective?
It's been an amazing period of African sporting events because I understand over 23 sporting activities or sporting disciplines are being going on at the African Games, and right from the start, there have been complaints here and there, but I think to have come to this far, I think we will just have to highlight majority of the positives and then make sure we improve on the few shortcomings that have been seen going forward. I think Ghana have done so well, especially the government, after realizing that they couldn't, or Ghana couldn't host the tournament or the competition last year. They had to put in everything and make everything possible to make sure the games go ahead this year. And we are 2 days away from completing the whole competition, which is very, very remarkable. I think the local organizing committee, the international partners, the Ghana government, everybody involved in the organization of the African Games have played a huge part to have come this far. I think it's not 100%, as like I said earlier, that we complaints. South Africa withdrawing from the hockey, but that didn't derail the beauty of the competition. The other countries who are participating also went ahead to compete. We look at the athletics, and majority of the athletes are giving positive reviews about the sort of infrastructure and facilities they have, and I think it's been amazing. So far, so very good for Ghana. I hope the country that will be hosting the next African Games will have a lot to do to improve on the shortcomings we've identified or observed in Ghana. But to be honest with you, it's been very, very remarkable.
Interesting. Let me come to you, Kuti. Nigeria actually won 10 gold medals in the last African Games in Morocco, Rabat, Morocco. And this year, they seem to be on a very high speed without, trying to slow down over South Africa, which is currently holding about 28 gold medals, and Nigeria has 31 gold medals. What has been Nigeria's performance? 32 now, yeah. So what has been Nigeria's performance, and how impressive do you think they've been?
Well, I'll say I'm impressed with the performance of the Nigerian athletes, and this African Games has further shown to Nigerians that we need to focus on other sports. Weightlifting alone gave us 16 gold medals. Wrestling gave us 6 gold medals. Arm wrestling gave us 4 gold medals. Athletics gave us 7 gold medals, because as at yesterday we have 7 gold, 2 silver, and 4 bronze. Arm wrestling gave us 4 medals. I think we need to let the governments know and private investors know that other sports out there actually have the capacity of making Nigeria proud, and they've shown this in the African Games. If not for sports like weightlifting and wrestling, Nigeria might be trailing behind the likes of South Africa, Morocco, and Algeria. So we need to give it to these athletes of other sports who have been able to give Nigeria the push. And I also want to thank the Nigerian government for also supporting these athletes in actualizing their plans, and not to forget the sporting federations who put the athletes in camp before the government campaign that lasted for 2 weeks. These athletes are magicians. Most of them train by themselves before going to competition. Most of our athletes, like those in the weightlifting, they are home-based athletes. They've been able to show that what a foreign athlete can do, we also can do better. And what will make these athletes much more happier is if when they arrive the country, they are being hosted by the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Super Eagles won silver medal at the AFCON. They were hosted. Why not these athletes that put us on the map and made us second position at the African Games? They should also get this. So all in all, Nigerian athletes have been wonderful. They are magicians, and we hope they replicate this kind of form when they go for their Olympic qualifiers and ultimately win more medals for us at the Olympic Games in Paris by June, July this year.
All right. Let's bring the conversation to the studio. Solomon, you've heard your colleagues with regards to the performance of Nigeria, Ghana, and how there's the need for us to perhaps begin to focus on other sports besides football, like we know. But talk to us from your perspective, Nigeria's performance so far, coming second with the number of goals, over 30. And just yesterday, Toby Amushan won another gold. Talk to us.
Nigeria appears to be perennial second-place team in the African Games. In 2019, Nigeria came second in the African Games with 46 gold medals in 2019 in Morocco. Egypt won that African Games with 94 gold medals. Now, the Games has 2 more days to go, and Egypt has already got 92 gold medals. So you imagine how many more they are going to have. Maybe they are going to surpass the 94 gold medals count that they had in 2019 to win the Games. But one of the things that I have been fascinated about is how Ghana was able to pull this through with a stadium in a university. That stadium where you're watching the track and field belongs to a university. There is no university in Nigeria with that sort of facility. We have sports complexes, but we do not have this sort of... The last time I went to this ground where this event was, it was just a patch field, you know, an open field where we played football and hockey. To see that sort of thing that the Ghanaians have put there, it is impressive inside a university.
You can see.
You know, so it was a mere field, and then we had another 2 football fields somewhere in the corner of the campus in Legon, where Ajax had built for them, and then another small patch where Nina FC, Abedi Pele's team, used to train and all of that. So I'm impressed, even though these games should have come up in August last year, but because these facilities weren't ready, so they had to move it to this year. So I'm impressed that they have pulled this through. But what I'm not impressed about is that maybe what would have given Nigeria the edge in these games, the Paralympics, you know, the disabled sport, the Ghanaians didn't include it, and well, even if they didn't include it, they wouldn't have won the game. So why,
so you think it was deliberate?
Why did they not include it? Because that should have given Nigeria the edge, as it seems. So maybe Nuhu will be able to explain to us why his people
did not include
it, even though they are far away on the medals table.
Nuhu, was this deliberate?
No, I don't think it was deliberate. Maybe, like it is done in the Olympics. We do the main Olympic Games, and then afterwards we do the Paralympics. Maybe we might have the para athletes also having their own African Games, which will be far different from the main African Games. Maybe that is the plan. So we are just waiting for the African Paralympic.
Solomon does not seem to agree with you on that.
Well, I need to say something. Last year, the first African Para Games were held, but it was unfortunate that events like para-liftings were not included. But going forward, I'll suggest both the para-athletes and the able athletes are merged together to give the para-athletes a sense of belonging. The Olympics are looking forward to match the Paralympics and Olympics together, just like the way the Commonwealth are also doing so. So I feel the para-athletes will not be given attention if theirs is splitted from the African Games. So I hope Egypt They are the next host. I hope they merge them together so that these athletes will be given a priority. And I'll say kudos to Ghana. As at September last year, there was no sporting complex in Boitema. But between September and today, we have the dome for the handball where the wrestling events were held. We have the multipurpose hall where Ghana defeated Nigeria yesterday in the volleyball event. We have the swimming facility, and we also have an indoor tennis. So I must say kudos to Ghana for pulling such a facility within September and March.
Let me bring it to Solomon. Yeah, of course, certainly it comes with high spirits, and then watching all of these games and the way the intrigues and all of that can be very exciting. Could you talk to us about the high points of the games for you, and probably the drawbacks as well?
When you come to a multi-sport event like this, 29 sports, is what you see here. Nigeria is competing in 25. The focus of an Olympics, this is the African version of the Olympics, is usually the thing that happens within the member, the track event, is usually the high point. This is where Nigeria has strength, but lately Nigeria hasn't been able, apart from Oluwatobi Amusan, Nigeria hasn't been able to produce a lot of remarkable athletes. Ofili is not, we have favor Ofili for women, who is upcoming, but she couldn't make it here because she's ill. Then you have some other Nigerian male athletes in the US who are unfortunately serving prison terms, as it were, for fraud-related cases. These are fantastic athletes, I must tell you. So track and field is the main point. And to imagine that Nigeria is not the host, but Nigeria has the highest contingent in this event. The Egyptians, who do not have up to the number of athletes we have, the Egyptians are topping. It shows how structured they are, with their sports approach.
So it's not about the quantity, it's all about
it's not quality. About the number you take. It's the Egyptians are properly organized. You go to a club like Zamalek, everybody seems to know Zamalek for football, but Zamalek is more than football, because you have Zamalek handball, you have Zamalek volleyball, you have Zamalek, all the teams and all of that. So you have club structures that produce athletes, that produce, great men. So, as it were, Nigeria, track and field, because we've seen between 3 days now how many medals Nigeria has won in track and field.
Right.
But I think that Nigeria has done well in weightlifting with 16 gold medals.
Amazing.
So we are in second position right now because of the medals we notched up in track and field. It was massive between the last 3 days, and we're probably going to keep winning it like that until the final day, because track and field will stretch up until almost the final day.
Fantastic stuff.
Right. Let me quickly come to you, Dari. If you think Nigeria can host the next games, looking at what you have witnessed there.
Well, if Congo Brazzaville can host the African Games in 2015, if Zimbabwe and the rest can host the African Games, yes, Nigeria, we can. And in 2003, Nigeria actually hosted Koja, and that's where you have a lot of massive sporting structures in Abuja. We have the package A and the package B. So I feel if Nigeria beats and we decide to host, I feel it to be a plus to all the sporting events, because we have an upgrade on the sporting facilities in the country. Look at Ghana, like Solomon said. The University of Ghana, their track were...
We need to quickly wrap this conversation up. Yeah. Right. Quickly, Solomon, in 2 seconds, can we?
Yes. Well, Ghana beats Nigeria to win this hosting right. Beat Nigeria and Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso to win this hosting right. So it means Nigeria was bidding to host this. Maybe another
next time.
As we face Ghana in the football,
gentlemen, we need to wrap up this conversation now because our time is up. But we must thank you, Solomon Ajuziogu, our in-house sport analyst, Nuhu Adams and Dari Kuti, speaking with us from Ghana. Thank you for your time as well.